Jeanette Towne is the president and CEO of a U.S.-based communications organization, and she is one of 12 members represented on a global manufacturer's business partner advisory council. Whew. I mean, there are a couple more things I could tell you, a couple more credentials I could pump in here, but just swallow that one. Now you know how this woman from Walnut Grove, California, qualifies as president. It was the prison that surprised me, Jeanette, in your book, From Prisoner to President. Actually, when I received the book, I thought maybe you'd done jail time. A very unexpected jail.
Absolutely, a domestic prison. Yes, 10 years. And I called it prisoner because women really can't escape these relationships. People will listen a lot, and when you share, if you've been a domestic violence survivor or even in a relationship like that, the first thought out of most people is, why didn't you just leave? Why'd you stay? Well, you know, Moira, the average woman does leave between 8 and 11 times before she ever escapes. So if it was really easy to leave these types of relationships, the women wouldn't come back and have to go through 8 or 11 times before they ever actually escape their prisons. So it really is a prison.
There's so much insight in this epic. You say you eloped with Mr. Wrong at 19.
That's correct.
Your parents said he's the wrong guy.
You know, my mother could see it. I was a nursing student. I really wanted to heal sick. He had a daughter. She was a year old when I met him, and he was heroically raising her by himself. And I thought I could fit into this unit. I could be the mom. I could be the wife. And my mother could see it. She told me to run. This man has no character. And I just thought, oh, she doesn't understand young love. So, against her wishes, I eloped. And the next 10 years went from a fairy tale relationship to threats of murder and with guns and knives, and I contracted diseases. So it was a very horrific 10 years downward spiral.
Let me just read. This is the second page. No one had a clue what went on in my house. From the outside, I looked perfect. Perfect family, perfect life. People assumed I had it all together. A nice-looking young woman working for a Fortune 500 company, married to a strikingly handsome, funny, intelligent, wonderful husband, and raising a darling and obedient young stepdaughter. Where did Prince Charming, the man of your dreams, you thought, turn into a sadistic abuser?
Well, it was shortly after we were married. He did not like that when we were at a restaurant, somebody came over when he was away from the table and asked me to dance. We were at a restaurant / listening to music place in Northern California. And of course, I was married. There's no way I would look at another man. I was, you know, I'm in this for the long haul, like my parents. And he came back to the table. He saw this man talking to me, and he was enraged. I looked at his face, and it just wasn't human looking. Then he grabbed me and he went through the restaurant until he found the man, and he pushed me on ahead, and he violated this man. He slammed this man's head into a pole at a restaurant, and the man hit the ground. So, you know, he escorted me out. I thought, wow, that was scary.
There's a rage issue here.
Next day, it was a complete, he tore up. We were living in a pristine mobile home park overlooking the ocean. So beautiful place, Northern California, right on the cliffs. And he literally tore my clothes apart and just went in this unbelievable display of violence. And he didn't hurt me yet. This was early, you know, in the relationship. But he definitely told me I would never talk to anybody, that I was now his property. I had to listen to what he said or else.
One of the words of counsel, I mean, that would be a warning sign. Unfortunately, you didn't see it until after.
No.
But you counsel women to do their homework,
Yes.
Whatever age you are in a relationship. Some of the things that happened immediately.
Right.
This man you were dating encouraged you. You quit school. You
Right.
dropped out of nursing.
Right.
You sold your car. He got you to empty your bank accounts. And then he took you 450 miles away from family and friends.
Absolutely right.
Talk about prisoner.
That they do want to get you alone. Because, Moira, once you are with no support group, you are the perfect victim. I had no family, no job, no friends, no money. I'm perfect as far as being able to be controlled and being in the prison. So many women, you know, you think the signs are there, but girls who are in high school, it's 1 in 5. So 20% of the girls in high school and younger, I'm talking 14 to 18-year-olds, are already involved right now in domestic violent relationships.
They're being abused by their
Yes,
boyfriend.
they are, absolutely, by a boyfriend. And then when you get to college, it's 1 in 4. So we get a little smarter, we make poor choices. I think women just have, God gives us a spirit to nurture and to love and want to be loved. And these men are master manipulators. A lot of times they say the right thing, you want to hear it. I love you, honey. I give you my life. I will never do this again. Please forgive me. And then you want to do that because I think God gives us a spirit of nurturing and forgiveness as women. By the time you get to be grown, it's 1 in 3. So if you go in your
Are those
community,
married to relationships?
some of them are not married. It's 1 in 3 women, adult women, are abused. So if you just go into the grocery store and you start counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, me, your church, your bank. So it's really more prevalent than people are talking about.
This would get so horrible. You were just 25 when you nearly died. Tell us why.
I didn't know it then, Moira, I contracted a venereal disease. So not only was I being abused physically and sexually, but I was given venereal diseases, sexually transmitted diseases, during the time that I was with my perpetrator. And
Because of your husband's dalliances.
He had women, and anytime I would say something, obviously there would be this wrath, so I quit saying anything and just praying that, you know, I wouldn't get violated. Well, I came down with a disease so bad that it wound me in the hospital, and I had 2 major surgeries within 14 days, and I almost lost my life. So I had a raging infection, 106 temperature that was not going down. And to save my life, they had to remove my fallopian tube, so I was basically left barren